Hello everybody, we are here in this beautiful place just at Chumpyong, and we finish our 2 days workshop. We are sitting here in this nice park and we would like to share something what can help us to move with our life. So, you know, today there was a lecture about what is more precious. Let me ask you, what is more precious? Love, life, or lineage? Well, Leila, what is more precious? Love, life, or lineage?
I don't know.
So I think, especially in the Western world, doesn't even think about lineage, because and I also didn't think about it much. Yeah. So right now I realize one thing is that lineage is something so important. And lecturer mentioned that the perfection of the lineage, or purification of the lineage, is a way to perfect our personality and perfect your family. And actually he mentioned you can't protect your family, children, if you do not purify your lineage. So let me now look at our famous pictures. Here, this picture, I want to compare now God's lineage and Satan's lineage. God's lineage has elements of true love. This is like absolute love. There is no hatred. It's just love. It has elements of absolute faith. This means there is no doubt. It's just trust. And absolute obedience is like you absolutely live for others. You don't need to insist on yourself. It's just you live for others. So it's very easy for you to just give up your own idea or whatever. It's just because your happiness is in living for others. So this is the God's lineage. You even feel joy if somebody is successful. You feel it like it's your success. It's like such a connection with people, with God. So that's the power of God's lineage. But this God's lineage nobody has. And actually the providence of history was that one man and one woman reach such a state and unity with God that God's lineage can be through the union established. And that's the purpose of the Messiah. So why the history was so long until Messiah could come? Because God was purifying this lineage. Adam and Eve, they unite. Actually, it was adultery. Adulterous relationship. Our grandma and grandpa relationship was adultery relationship. There was a fornication. There was many things, and it was passed down to all mankind. That's why there was no connection to God, to connection to our own spirits, even we could not believe that God exists. So this is the fallen lineage, and God worked all history to restore this lineage. And Messiah is the one who is the first, we call it, how do we call it? The one who is born, has no connection to this lineage, is the first son and first daughter of God. This is the true parents. And they are on the earth, and that's a great news. So they have this lineage.
You mean the only begotten Son?
Only begotten son and only begotten daughter. And Jesus knew that. That's why he proclaimed, and that's why actually he was crucified, because people who are from this lineage actually don't like to hear that God is my Father. So now let me, all history was about cleaning up this lineage, and in order Messiah comes, there was a long way. There was work, if you know about Tamar, if you know about Jacob, and all these families, finally to the Maria, they went very interesting and difficult situation to actually transfer this lineage that Jesus could be born. Jesus was born, but finally he was killed. He could not have the marriage of the Lamb. And he asked, when he was, Reverend Moon, when he was 16, was asked to finish this work. And but it was not easy to restore. All Christianity was actually about finding or preparing the foundation for begotten daughter to be born. That was the purpose of the Christianity. It's in the position of the bride, and this was fulfilled, and we are actually lucky to connect to this lineage. So now let me show you what is our lineage. Our lineage has actually elements of exactly how the fall happened, how evil started. Was that basically Satan is the creator of evil, but he was not from the beginning. He became, that was the lecture talking about this yesterday, that the Satan, could you calm down because you can't hear me, that the Satan was not a Satan from the beginning. He became Satan. That's why we need to think how we can become like a Satan. If we understand how Archangel became Satan, he was a good from the beginning, but the reason why fall explain about motivation and process of the fall is something important to understand, because it can happen to anybody, and we are in it all. How we become actually instruments of evil. So he was lonely. He had a lack of love, and that's the lineage. Fallen lineage is full of lack of love and loneliness. But out of this lack of love and loneliness, basically comes self-pity, I just put there something, like all kind of excessive desire, jealousy, self-pity, self. We get so much centered on ourselves that we cannot get out from it. We need to even create self-righteousness. We need to feel all kind of greed, impatience, arrogance, justification, accusation, and after it's very easy to, because we feel so justified and so painful already and so lack of love, that we feel right to make fornication, or we feel right to do adultery, or we feel right to do murder or rape or incest or whatever it is. And that's the lineage of humankind. And it was repeated all the time, and it's flowing in our veins. It's flowing in our blood. That's the reality. And now, can you imagine that we are in the time that we can change our lineage? Isn't it a good news, people? We can change this kind of, these elements of jealousy, excessive desire, self-righteousness, impatience, arrogance, justification, fornication, adultery. It's actually, as the lecturer today said, it's an illicit lineage. So it's a culture. You can see in all the drama movies, this is an illicit culture. You just cannot get out of it. Happiness, people find out if they make some kind of relationship somewhere out of the husband-wife relationship or before, whatever it is. People cannot get, it's like people, the fallen lineage is a lineage of free sex. There is no other fulfillment. They just are destined to it. So, and now can you imagine we are in a time that we can clean up this lineage. This was never ever possible, because many people, those who felt they can't connect to God, they just simply does not merit. They became like nuns and monks. But that's also not solution, because actually, as we see here in this picture, men and women become one, centering on God. That's the fulfillment. But after fall, it was impossible. It was actually, this union became the hell. So this kind of paradox. And now we see all these religious people became monks and nuns, which is one of the solutions. Actually, they pay indemnity that actually lineage could be restored and Messiah could be born. And now Messiah is born here. It's a good news, because the lineage, God's lineage, is established on the earth. So this complete union happened in 2013. It was a foundation day for establishing actually Channel Gug. This victory, complete union, and actually God was become substantial God, substantiated through men and union of first man and woman, substantial God. So so now I want to tell that we have now chance to liberate this lineage. How? Where? Wow, let's go there. So yes, it's a champion providence, and in this book you can see there is deeper explanation. There is a lot of secret in this book, and speaking about that there is no better things to do, just liberate your ancestor. If you want to make your life better, just focus on liberation of the ancestor. There is no better things to do. If you want to protect your family, do the liberation of the ancestor first. If you want to liberate your fulfill your tribal messiahship, please, without liberating your ancestor, you cannot think even about liberating your tribe. So right now we are the true parents of mankind. The Messiah, substantial God, actually opened the way for clean up all cosmos, all world. By now we are liberating ancestor already 210 was, and it's open until 420. So actually I would like to one thing is, yeah, we changing this lineage. And as you know, when we changing this lineage, what's happened with our ancestor, right? So they go to spirit world, and they are not only separated from us or from the hell in the spirit world, they are liberated, but they are not only separated. Many shamans separate spirits, and they go to other people probably. But in the Champion and the liberation of the ancestor, these spirits who are liberated either from other people or from some spirit placed in the spirit world, they are going to a special place in the spirit world for education. They are not only educated, they realize their sins, and they are transformed into a good spirits. And not only that, people, they are blessed. This means they are connected with the lineage of God. So this means the flow of gratitude, absolute faith, absolute love, they are connected to it by blessing. So these absolute good spirits going to, they are blessed, and they have to come down to help us. So who doesn't want to have the army of absolute good, whatever, CIA or KGB, or how do you want to call it, who exactly know God's will, who are purified, and who are actually close to you because they are your ancestors, they know you, so they can the best way protect you and help you. I think even for your children, if you have this absolute good ancestor, where do they go? They go to protect your children beyond time and space. You can better protect your children if you have absolute good ancestors. I mean, this is just amazing grace. So and also people who are doing the liberation of the ancestors, they forget also one thing, but I will talk about this later. See you from this beautiful place, and the best, please come here. I love you.